look over and I see that some of Keith's friends are helping themselves to me and Keith's lemonade. And we bought stuff that are designated just for this party, not to go help themselves in our own fridge. I just think that this is incredibly rude. Everybody's limit is 2 drinks.
What?
That's talk to them. Talk to them.
Whoa.
How you gonna give them limits?
The fact that they went into our fridge and helped themselves, it's kind of a respect thing of knowing that, hey, this is not my house. You just can't go rummage through everything that is not yours. I have the worst attitude right now.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is, baby. At the center of it all, it's you that I see. It's you that I see. Yes, Jesus. For those who are returnees, you ain't got the minerals, baby. Bang, bang, bang. Guru, guru, guru.
Just pulled up at his parents' house so we can, be with his family during this time. His grandma's not doing very well. But I think that he really is happy to be here, of course. But kind of like getting those last final moments that you can't ever have again, I think is critical.
I'll start with Iris and Keith. I love the fact that obviously Iris, Keith especially, because Keith his grandma fell ill, who Iris met at the wedding, and he was able to share that with Iris. And what I loved was that Iris was responsive enough to really want to support him, and go alongside him. And I mean, it's easy. I guess it's easier in relationships, I guess, to support somebody in those kind of moments than it is to support people in, I guess, maybe their dreams or whatever. But it was still touching to see, especially when she started crying as she was walking, to see that she's emotional about, his situation. And what it showed again is just that kind of unison that they do have, and that kind of tight-knit bond. So I just want to put that first out there. For me, obviously, funny enough, obviously the condom issue, when Iris began to discuss that with the girls, it's so interesting that the boys were like, bro, how did you not know that? But the girls were like, I mean, come on, like, it's only condoms in the box, like, don't get stressed. And I was like, raw, like, okay, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I was looking at like, okay, he's got condoms in the box. Yeah, he has sex. Yeah, it was bound to happen. Like, it's bound to be there. Like, was he expecting to clear it out before you got there or anything like that? I didn't see the big deal. But then I'm not the virgin, so I don't know, and I'm not a female either. But then, like I said, the females were thinking like the boys, and the boys were thinking like the females.
My husband, that clearly has had sex before, like, I went rummaging through his apartment, right? And I opened a drawer, and it's empty. Box of condoms.
She went through my drawer, and she saw the condom box. She's like, what is this? I'm like, it's a condom box.
What an idiot. Keith knew that this was going to happen. He knew that she was going to come to his place and see all that. You had ample amount of time to get rid of.
It started at the altar. Mm-hmm. What happened like the day before and on past that? Like, it wouldn't be healthy for us to ask. I don't think.
We've all had past, so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Your past brought you to where you're at, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As long as you just don't bring your past where we at today.
I didn't get it. I expected that from the opposite genders, the way that they both viewed their points. And I think, yeah, I mean, to be honest, yeah, the condom situation for me, I already told you from the last episode, it was absurd. There was no need for there to be any type of ruffle of feathers. But I felt like the producers had to push that to kind of get that, giving us a little something that's going on between them two. Because for me it wasn't deep at all, was not deep. Interesting as well, remember I said to you guys about Iris and Keith and talking about relationship and talking about whether God fits into that. Now, we got our first taste of their feelings towards God, or at least a mention of God in their relationship. What we saw was Iris asking Keith, oh, would you want to come to church with me?
What's been going on? Tell me about your day.
Ooh, so Justin invited us to church with her. If you want to go.
You want me to go?
I would like for you to go.
Yeah.
Is that with reluctancy?
For real? Yeah. No, if you want me to go, then I'll definitely go.
But do you want to go?
Sure. What's been going on?
Now, as far as I'm concerned, that wasn't an option. Like, do you want to come to church with me? In the sense of, not that, do you want to come to church with me to my church or anything like that. The question sounded as if, like, do you want to come to church? Like you don't really go to church, or do you want to come to church with me? And for me, like I told you, I told you from the beginning, I personally don't think both sets of parties are in deep with Jesus like that. So that, if you ever watched any of my videos when I talked about can atheists date Christians and Christians who call themselves Christians but not really Christians, I've spoken about this. that, you know, when Christ comes into any situation, he transforms an individual. Like, for instance, if I'm dating somebody, if I'm really in love with somebody, yeah, like, and I'm not ashamed of them, yeah, and the Bible says, you know, we're not ashamed of the gospel that's able to transform a man, but if I'm not ashamed of that person, bruv, trust me, yeah, I will talk about my girlfriend to that person. Like, it would probably come up in conversation, like, yeah, me and my girlfriend were doing that the other time, like, yeah, oh, yeah, no, she said that, you know what, I know my girlfriend said the same thing before to me as well, yeah, it's a bit mad, isn't it? Like, you would know that I had a girlfriend, you'd know, or at least you'd know that, you know what, fam, like, there's somebody else that's there beside me. Why? Because I'm proud enough of that person, I'm happy enough for that person, I'm in love with that person. And I see that person as a mirror image. And the Bible says that we are being conformed to the image of the Son. So get it, deep this year, if you're not really talking about Christ, I'm asking the question whether we really are about Christ. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out there and start preaching, but what I am saying is the first dosage of their faith that we got was, do you want to come to church with me? Now, I think it was either before that or after that, they were speaking about, they prayed before they went to bed and they showed us that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that was nice. But I started to remember, I said, yeah, but people who aren't necessarily calling themselves even Christians pray. So, you know, prayer it's not really showing me anything because, like I said, you know, people honor God with their lips, but their hearts are far from them. And people ask me in the comment section, why am I coming after Iris so much, especially with the virginity thing? And I want to make this clear. I'm a supporter of virginity. You should be a virgin if you can be it to the end until you reach marriage, like Iris has done. My only thing is this: it is not a weapon to yield to sound like you're better than somebody. It is also not a weapon of pride that, oh, I am like this. No. Like, if you've made it with your virginity, be humble. Do you understand? Because there's no difference between me and you. Yeah, I've had sex. Okay, cool. You're a virgin. Okay, cool. Like, there are going to be challenges we're both going to face because of what we have and haven't done. And what I'm saying is that, for me, it's like, it's not like even most people who are virgins are actual virgins. What I mean by that is that your mind is not a virgin. So, like, and that's why I said, you know, and I think it was 2 episodes ago, I said, I didn't understand why Iris was trying to pepper, was trying to come at Keith almost in a way that when you're on a hammock, saying about, oh, but you've done everything in the sun. It's like, bro, but I wasn't coming at you. I was just saying, oh, okay, so you are not a virgin in mind. You've done things. Because you're presenting it like you are the cleanest cuttest. And that's the problem. Every time the virginity gets put up into display, what is she holding the virginity for now? Oh, you are, just in case it doesn't work out. Well, why did you take on this particular marriage at first sight? That's the whole point. That for me is a contradictory statement to what you're doing. That's why I'm on Iris's case. I believe in virginity. I believe that you should be a virgin. But I do not believe in you holding it above everything else. You are now married. The virginity was for the marriage. You are now married. Do what you must do. If you don't trust him, why did you go into the show? That's the whole reason why you're on this show, right? Married at first sight is that you're going to find somebody who you're going to marry from the jump. You're not going to get to know that person straight away first before you get married. You didn't give yourself that option. You decided to go on a show. Deal with it. You know what I'm saying? That's my issue. That's my issue with Iris. Just letting you guys know.
It's so weird to know that me coming into this, like, as a virgin that's never had sexual intercourse before, and now be...
I love the fact also as well that Iris, you know, especially during the grandma stage as well, I didn't even mention this as well, that she mentioned about being the peace for Keith as well. And I think, like, that just extends past just even him being the grandma situation, but actually in general. You know, you want a partner that will be your peace. And it's not just women, it's both women and men. You want a partner that is literally going to be your peace.
Atmosphere that he can have. All I can do is just be there for him, be the shoulder that he needs, the hug he needs. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing us to come together. Thank you for the union of our marriage. Atmosphere that he can have.
That you know when you come back from work, you're not going to get more of what you had at work. If your boss was shouting at you, then you come home and your wife is also nagging at you. Now, this is excluding the parts where some of you lot are wrong. Some of you lot are doing mad stuff, and then you come home and expect the person to give you a leeway. I'm not expecting them to give you leeway either. You're doing bad stuff. But I'm talking about in general, just in terms of a relationship, you know, like constant nagging when you're, you know, or constant arguments, and this is men and women, you know, it's not nice to come back from work from. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think, do you know what it is? When she mentioned about being at peace, I just started thinking about relationships. Am I a person as well? Am I a person that brings peace? You know, when you're coming with your issue, do I bring peace or do I add more fire or more fuel to the fire? Do I do that? And I think a lot of us in relationships, we have to look at ourselves and say, can we be the peace of the individual person? Can we be that person's peace? Something to think about.
Dad doing well?
Everybody's doing
Granddad?
okay. Everybody's kind of together, just trying to support each other and really trying to be there for my mom.
And I've touched base with her, so we're,
It's awesome.
if she needs anything at all.
Absolutely.
I love the fact as well, you know, with Iris's mum, when they were hosting a party, that Iris's mum came through and actually said, you know what, I've actually called your parents as well, and actually I just want to check out on them, so yeah, they're doing okay, and I love that. I said, you know what, Iris's mum's on point. For her to like ring, you know, Keith's parents and actually try to find out, you know, if they're okay and everything like that, it's big, you know, it means a lot. So, and that just shows a unity, and that shows, you know, wanting to actually put someone else at the forefront, and actually the unification of a family. And again, it's not two families, but it's two families coming together to become one. And that's the beautiful thing, that unification. So I really, really appreciate that, and I think that's one of the greatest things around that. And I need to try myself and foster that, and try to really bring that unification in, and really try to unify that as well. And have that sense of mind that I want two families, her family and my family, to really kind of gel and actually be one. Go on to the actual crux of the issues, what happened, because Iris kind of showed, you know, why I've been saying what I've been saying the last few weeks, and you guys are trying, some of you in the comment section trying to get on me. Why are you on Iris? Why are you on Iris? This is why I'm on Iris. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if you remember this part, I'm going to break it down. So the scene where they are talking in front of their friends, okay? And you got Keith, you got Iris, you know, almost like being at the forefront, and everyone else.
How's the married life?
Why is that funny? Why is that funny?
So looking at them. Now, Iris is sitting next to Keith, but there's a huge gap between them. I mentioned this in episode 6 as well, that when they were talking to Pastor Cal, there was a gap between them as well. It's really interesting. When they're alone, she sits really close to him. Point proven, the next thing I'm going to show you.
Close, so I'm just really happy to have Iris by my side. And close.
But the moment they are in front of people, she's separated. Why? Again, this is why I said about the virginity thing. Don't make it a big thing, because it's like you're putting on a parade and an image for people. You don't have to do that. Your virginity is not your identity. Your virginity, yeah, is what you're doing. You understand? It's not your identity. And so for me, this is why I'm on it, because I'm like, okay, cool. And I picked up on a few things. So last episode as well, Pastor Carpenter saying, you know, this guy here is not a stranger. Keith has been more than amicable and loving and everything like that. But when they're in public space, I believe, I was at first saying, nah, I can't say it's Keith, I can't say it's Iris that, you know, that causes that split gap between the two of them when they're chilling and that. But, you know, I looked and I said, but who said who's a stranger? Iris did. So if she's the one that's saying he still feels like a stranger, she's the one creating a gap. Why do I feel she's keeping a gap? Because of the virginity. Why? Because the moment she starts getting too close physically, I believe, it's almost as if that you're allowing a person to come into your zone, and potentially that particular virginity that you hold could go down. Or it's something that she's always done to kind of protect herself from getting into a scenario where sexes might be involved. And that's fair enough. I mean, Diona does the exact same thing. That is why, I guess, you know, the compliments and everything like that. It's her, for her one, Diona's version is the emotional wall, not letting Greg get close. So the compliments, what the compliments do actually is they break the wall down, and it allows him to get closer. So what Diona has done is said, no, I'm going to keep the walls up, stop complimenting me, thank you very much, not too many of those, because what's happening is, I first of all can't take that, because if I do, the walls have to start coming down, and then I start letting you in, and then potentially I will repeat what I was doing before, which is I will go into sex before I actually start getting to know you. So I really understand Diona's version as well. I do get it. I understand it. And I'm understanding also Iris's version too. I'm just saying that obviously this is what I'm reporting. I'm just showing you why I believe the behaviour is the behaviour the way it is. Cool. Talking about the gap between them, there was a scene after where they were talking and Keith is lying down and she's on his legs. Again, just showing that kind of intimacy of affection. But there was still a gap between the two of them though. Still a gap between the two, but there was still that contact. Do you get me? Whereas when they were talking there, and it's like Pastor Cal's, there was a gap between the two. Almost as if we're presenting a non-sexual, we want to show that we are brothers and sisters in Christ. You married. You ain't got to do that. They do have the discussion around, because like I said, the mum tone from Iris came out again. That air of arrogancy, a kind of tone, the mum tone kind of thing, where you're treating people like kids came out, as if I'm mothering you. And I'm telling you something, Keith is the kind of guy that's really, really cool, doesn't mind you taking the lead on certain things, but don't take the piss. Like, I will let you know. And I said that. I said this when it happened on the boat, where she was like, oh, you know, be careful. And he said, listen, like, stop babying me. I'm not a kid. Like, allow it. Then obviously we had the situation with the drinks in the fridge. And obviously people come. Listen, you have a house party. Do you think people are not going to take your stuff? You've moved mad and you have nobody to tell you. It's a house party. People are going to take your stuff. And not only that, in the cutscene, yeah, the boys took the drinks, but I saw the girls as well also saying, load up the drink. What you not drinking? What you mixing? So it wasn't just the boys took it out, but the girls are still drinking too. They didn't mind. Fam, nobody's complaining because it's a party. It's a party. Enjoy yourself, Iris. You see what I'm saying? Don't be so uptight. Someone drank your lemonade. Yeah, so? Just let them drink the drinkers. What's the beef? You can buy another one, as Keith said. You know what I'm saying? And Keith was like, do you know what it was? I don't know if it's Keith's got to a point or whether he just thought to himself, this is something that's just so stupid. But the fact that he was lying flat and the fact that he just kept on saying, look, do you know what? It's not a big thing. The guys come round to my place. They drink whatever they drink. They know they can come to my house and feel free. And she's like, well, you know, the boundaries. And I'll admit it. I admit there is times where you are married now, there are boundaries. But this was a house party. This wasn't even you then visiting your house. This was a house party, yeah? At which you guys were having a hosting party. Yeah, that people come round and chill, catch jokes, drink, eat, be merry. Like, I was at my cousin's the other day, party the other time. Fam, I went to the fridge and grabbed myself a grape soda. But it hadn't been open yet. I cracked it open, baby. It's a house party. You know what I'm saying? It was in the fridge. Like, if it was in the cupboard, maybe I would have just kind of left it. But it was in the fridge. I was like, okay. The black grapes out. Boom. Let me have some of that. Do you get me? So for me, I just think to myself it was a bit much, and I said that Motherly Turner game is coming out, and she's got to be very, very careful. I don't know how much Keith can take of that. I don't know what his tolerance level is, but she's got to just check that and just kind of be like, look, cool, maybe that's a bit too much. Do you get me? Move on to Amber and Matt. It's interesting, you know, with Amber and Matt because do you know what? These two have got abandonment issues, but the way they come across is so different. So we've got Matt here, who indefinitely his parents, obviously we got the first insight was both of them had parents actually originally had divorced, and it was a bad breakup in the sense of the fact that Matt took it badly. Yeah, his parents have been together for a time and they broke up. So now I believe in Matt's head, the way he's qualifying everything is that, do you know what, abandonment in his head is like, what if I get together with this girl, it's a long thing, and I still break up with her? That is a fear in his mind, there's an insecurity in his mind. For Amber, it's also insecurity in the sense of, if a person even starts to do their own thing, then suddenly they're trying to abandon her. This was a point in case with the bathroom and the bathroom and him choosing his own bathroom or whatever. So again, that kind of showed both of them, you know, as well, kind of showing, you know, their abandonment issues. The problem is, as we found out from the episode before, is that Matt's consideration towards Amber is very little. In the sense of, if you had a job, yeah, in another place and you just got married, what do you think your wife's gonna do? Why are you on the show if you're not serious, man? No, real spit. If you're not serious, why are you on the show? If you know that you potentially would take another job elsewhere, why are you on the show? But he said, obviously, okay, cool, do you know what it is? Like, it's because I want to make sure this business works in Charlottesville. If it doesn't, then I've got to go and take another business. I do kind of get that, so I'm not going to blaze man for that. But then you don't come back home late that night, or one of the nights. Bro, it reminded me a bit of last season when it came to what do you call it, Luke. And that abandonment that he was doing, he was intentionally kind of doing things. Matt is starting to venture into that playground. I'm not calling him any particular name, but I'm saying he's beginning to venture into that playground. He's letting his insecurities and letting his fears now begin to dominate the way he's acting towards Amber. You know what I'm saying? And it's dangerous. He's got to be very careful. Amber too's got to be a little bit more stronger. Like this crying that you're doing because man didn't come home. Like, relax. I know that you think he doesn't like you, but relax. The man's also a person who's also dealing with abandonment issues. And I feel like this couple needs a continuous set of counselling from the counsellors. We should be seeing counselling from the counsellors. I keep saying it, Married at First Sight here would be such a banging show if they had an end result of not people failing, but actually their marriage is actually working. In a sense of they would have counsellors counselling people more often than not.
Like when you signed up to get married, like did you think about like if the person like wanted kids, like was that anywhere on your radar?
Kids don't scare me. Being tied to and connected to that person that you had a kid with for the rest of your life, no matter what, that's what scares me.
It was interesting that, you know, Matt was showing those withdrawal symptoms and the second thoughts, and like I said, I really believe it's because he thinks that in long-term longevity he may feel like one of them will change their minds. And he mentioned it to Pascal last episode about talking about, you know what, one of the things is he's scared that obviously either he'll change his mind or both of them will change their minds, because why? The experience and the trauma of his parents breaking up after 30 years has caused him to think, rah, this can happen to anyone. Michelle says, well, the situation in the car about the fear about bonding for life with a kid. And basically what I got from that was, when they were having a discussion in the car about having kids in the future 8 years down the line, I was like, whoa, 8 years is a bit long, mate. You are 30 something. And I just thought to myself, okay, why is he doing that for? He's creating distance. What he's doing is just in case this don't work out.